Welcome back to this Ashened combo guide. Ashened, the new archetype we have gotten in Master Duel, or we will get tomorrow, and I will show you the 1-card combo with the best starter awakening of Veidos. 2-card combo, I will also show you a deck profile. We will read over every new card. I will explain to you how the archetype works so that you understand how it wants to operate. And yeah, the new archetype Veidos, Awakened, Ashened, is here. It's this archetype that a lot of people are referring to Dark Souls, because the cards, you don't see it on this card but on the followings, kind of look like Dark Souls monsters. We are starting here in the 1-card combo with Awakening of Veidos. Place 1 Obsidim, the Ashened city. This is the field spell, very important to the entire archetype from your deck. Face up in either field zone, so either yours or your opponent's. Then if your opponent controls a card in their field zone, which they obviously do if you put them there, you can add 1 level 5 or higher Dark Pyro monster from your deck to your hand. And for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon from the deck or extra deck except Pyro monsters. So this definitely locks us into something. You can play this together with other archetypes like Volcanic or maybe Snake Eyes, since they are also Pyro, but this is basically locking us out of any other archetypes, so keep this in mind. So we are starting Awakening of the Veidos. You can also use this to place the field spell in your field zone, but in this case we want to place it in our opponents in order to also search our Veidos, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction. So we have the field spell Obsidim, the Ashen City. Face up special summon monsters your opponent controls become Pyro during your turn only, and then you can only use each of the following effects of Obsidian once per turn during the end phase or our end phase. You can target 1 Obsidian, the Ashen City, in your graveyard, place it on the bottom of your deck, then draw 1 card. Very nice, since we can recycle these field spells and we want to destroy them because of the second effect. If this card in the field zone is destroyed or banished, you can special summon 1 Ashen monster from your deck. So this might be the first field spell, at least that I know of, that gives us an advantage when we destroy it ourselves. And then we have the Veidos here. This is definitely Souls-like, if you ask me, in terms of the artwork, and it reads Veidos. During the main phase, if this card is in your hand, quick effect, you can target 1 card in a field zone for cost, special summon this card to your opponent's field, and if you do destroy that card, the field spell, then you can add to your hand or set 1 Ashened Continuous Trap from your deck. Very nice. If this card is sent from your opponent's field to your graveyard, you can destroy our monsters on the field. So this is a monster clear. This clears the entire field. This can also be used in a meta or against specific decks if you are side decking, if you want to counter very good field spells, for example the Tenpai field spell. This definitely in the TCG, there was a time where this was very expensive, since a lot of people wanted to use this against the Tenpai field spell. This never really came up, but this is kind of like an Ash Blossom for a field spell, if you want to call it that, in the sense that you can basically negate a field spell and then also have this guy on your opponent's field that is a big body, but can also, if it leaves the field, destroy everything. So a very interesting card outside of the archetype as well, but we have him here in our hand. We want to activate him next to destroy the Obsidian on the opponent's field and special summon it to the opponent's field. Now we can place the first trap. One of the new ones during the main phase, ours or the opponent's, that is, you can fusion summon 1 Pyro fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from either field as material, so super polymerization basically, including Veidos, the Eruption Dragon, this guy here, and if we do this, it gains 500 attack for each material used. Very nice. You can banish this card and 1 Dark Pyro monster, they all are, from your graveyard for cost. All monsters your opponent controls become Pyro until the end of this turn, so obviously this helps in clearing the board, since you can use them to fusion summon into the boss monster here, but we will talk about him later on. So we are placing here, now we can activate Obsidian's second effect to special summon a monster, and we are special summoning the King of the Ashen City. Not the best one. If Obsidian, the Ashen City, is in the field zone, a lot of the monsters have this effect, or I think nearly all of them. You can special summon this card from your hand, so this is why the field spell is very important, and you can only special summon him once during your main phase. You can special summon 1 Ashen monster from your hand, except King of the Ashen City, or if your opponent controls a monster with 2/8 or more attack, the Veidos, you can special summon it from your deck instead. Very interesting. We are only playing 1 of this, but it is actually nice to extend. We are summoning our Priestess of the Ashen City. Same thing here, if we control the fields, where we can special summon her, and if this card is normal or special summoned, we can add 1 Ashen card from our deck to our hand also. cards for the field spell. This is very nice. This is our searcher basically. So we are searching our Extinguishing the Ashen, a very good normal spell. Send one dark pyro monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then you can add one level 5 or higher pyro monster from your graveyard to your hand. For the rest of this turn, after this card revolves, we are basically pyro extra deck locked. And we can also then banish this card from our graveyard to fusion summon one pyro fusion monster from our extra deck using monsters from field or hand as material. Very nice. So we are activating this now, sending another Veidos and adding this exact Veidos. And the next thing we can do here is use the fusion summon effect to fusion summon our field into the Embers of the Ashened. The Embers of the Ashened says to pyro monsters that this card is fusion summoned, we can target one field spell in our graveyard, add it to our hand. Very nice. We can recycle the field spell, which is very important. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's pyro monster, which you can make them pyro, remember this, you can destroy that opponent's monster, and if it is your turn, this card can make a second attack in a row. So the field spell makes it so that every special summon monster is pyro on your turn, the opponent's special summon monster, so you can basically delete two monsters without this card being destroyed or without having a real damage calculation. So very nice. But we will activate the first effect to grab back the field spell here, which makes the Veidos in our hand alive. And now we are going to pass over to our opponent here. It's very funny since our opponent, it's just a bot, but he summons a pyro monster. But let's just imagine he did not summon a pyro monster. Then what we would do is activate in the main phase the next Veidos so that we have triple pyros on the field here. And now we can use our main interruption tool basically. We are going to firstly set, once again, because we have summoned the Veidos and destroyed the field spell, we are going to set the second trap, the Ashened, for eternity. When this card is activated, you can add one Veidos or one Ashen monster from graveyard to the hand. Very nice. And then you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls that you own, take control of that monster, so we can retag our Veidos here. Then you can make all face-up monsters your opponent control lose attack equal to the targeted monster's original attack, which is a lot to 8 here. And this attack change lasts until the end of this turn, so we can use this to basically clear our opponent's field by minusing everything here. But this is not important for the combo. We will use the Ashen City that we have destroyed here to summon another priestess to get us a bit more follow-up for the next turn. It's always nice if an archetype can grab follow-up in and of itself in a combo. And then we will use our main disruption here, fusion summon 3 pyros array. Remember that we would need to use this one if we don't summon, for example, the priestess. Since you don't need to summon the priestess, she will get destroyed. So you have to think about whether you want the follow-up or not. And we will go into our boss monster. And now our Veidos will trigger since it has left the field and destroy basically everything, but not our new Veidos, the Dragon of Endless Darkness here. Very cool artwork if you ask me. It is made by Veidos the Eruption Dragon plus 2 level 9 or lower pyro monsters. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also your opponent cannot target it with monster effects. So it needs to be non-targeting, banished from monster effects or impermed, for example, or dealt with in any other form, including a spell or trap card. If this card is fusion summoned, you can destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. So this is basically a complete board wipe. My opponent did not control any spells or traps at this point, but the Veidos would destroy every monster on the field, and the Veidos, the Dragon of Endless Darkness, would destroy any spell or trap. So a very powerful, complete board wipe that you have available here with this one card combo. Is actually not bad, but it's just not enough to make this archetype really insane. When your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, quick effect, you can send one face-up Ashen card you control to the graveyard, destroy that card. So another very cool interruption here, and then we can obviously go into our next turn where we already have follow-up and play the game from there and win. And I will show you a 2-card combo including the field spell, which is a very good one to open, and our Priestess of the Ashen City. Alright, for our next combo we have the City and then the Priestess. So activate City, now we can special summon Priestess, activate Priestess effect to search, once again Extinguishing the Ashen. We are going to activate it like before, sending the Veidos, adding the Veidos. Now obviously Veidos can destroy our own field spell here, summon to our opponent's field, and we can set our interruption trap. Then our field spell will trigger once again. We summon King, because King can summon another one. Now we are summoning the Spearhead of the Ashen City. If Obsidian is on the field, you can special summon him, like all of them have. If your opponent controls a monster with 2/8 or more attack, the Veidos, you can tribute this card, then target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. This is cool. This is what we are going to do. We tribute this Spearhead, grab back the Veidos here, and then we're going to fusion summon like the last time, once again into Embers of the Ashened. We are going to grab back our field spell here. And the next thing we're going to do is activate field spell and then pass to our opponent. And now we're basically at the same point like we were in the replay before. The only difference being we didn't start with our best opener, so we had to do it a bit differently. But this is what you want to add up on. You want basically your Veidos ready, or at least a Veidos on the opponent's field. Doesn't have to be this Veidos, can also be someone that's already there, like in the replay before. And if you can, you want this obviously on your field, not your opponent's, so you can destroy it and take full advantage of it. Now we are going to summon the Veidos again, and once again we are going to set in the next trap here as follow-up and grabbing more follow-up via the Priestess of the Ashened here. For this example, we are grabbing the field spell. And now the same play as before, we are just going to blow up the entire board with Veidos, and the second Veidos, once again, our opponent does not have spells and traps, but this is how the archetype, how the engine wants to operate. It's pretty easy to understand, and I guess you will also understand how you need to use all the specific pieces in order to achieve this. But now I will show you a deck list and we will go over the cards that we have not yet seen. Alright, and here's my potential deck list for the Ashened deck. I will mention some flex spots here. We obviously have triple Veidos, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction, a very nice one. If you open him with the field spell, that's obviously quite nice. We have one King of the Ashened City just as an extender, because we can summon him quite easily and then he can extend for us. One Spearhead of the Ashened City, if we are in a situation like the one we have just seen, then the Spearhead can be very nice to grab back Veidos. We have Hero of the Ashened City 2 times. If Obsidim is online, we can special summon him. Once again, we know this already. And then during the main phase quick effect, we can target one Pyro monster on the field. So could be one of our opponents. If it is our turn, destroy it. Then if you destroyed Veidos, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction, by this effect, you can place one Obsidian from your deck up in your field zone. So the hero is quite nice, since if there is a Veidos on the opponent's field, you can destroy that Veidos. The Veidos will blow up the board, and then you will get follow-up by searching or getting the field spell, which then you can once again summon different bodies, the Ashen bodies, to the field by special summoning because of the field spell. We have 2 Shaman of the Ashen City. Once again, if Obsidian is here, we can special summon. We know this already. You can target 3 of your Pyro monsters that are banished and or in your graveyard for a cost, shuffle them into the deck, which indicates that all of them need to be shuffled. Then if you shuffled an Ashen monster, which we will, you can add one Obsidian, the Ashen City, from your deck to your hand. Very nice. This can recycle our resources and will grab us a field spell, which the field spell, as you have already seen, is very important in order to get Veidos to the opponent's field, in order to special summon our monsters here. So it's very nice, the Shaman of the Ashen City, but nothing that we want to open up with. It's more of a recycle card. Then we have triple Priestess of the Ashen City, just nice. It's a searcher. Together with a lot of other cards, it can start our combo. We have one Ashened to Endlessness. We have one Ashen for Eternity, which is definitely not the greatest card, but you want to run it once. Extinguishing of the Ashened here. And then we have also Rekindling the Ashened. Place one of your Ashen cards that is banished or in your graveyard on the bottom of your main deck, except Rekindling the Ashened. Then target one effect monster your opponent controls for a cost. Negate its effect until the end of this turn. Can be nice in order to break a board. Can also be nice if you just find it in order to have an additional interruption here. So this is not a bad card, but also not one of the best here in the deck. We obviously have triple the field spell. We would like to have Terraforming, which unfortunately we don't have anymore in Master Duel. Awakening of Veidos is our best starter that we can get. You have just seen the 1-card combo. And then obviously we want to play something like triple Maxi. And just because we have recently gotten the Mulchami Fuvoros, I'm placing triple Mulchami Fuvoros, and here can obviously go with any other hand trap. Triple Ash Blossom, which is now even better since we have Fuvoros and Perulia in the game. 2 called by and 1 crossout just to let us play. And then we have triple Infinite Impermanence. Since we can't really play greatly under Maxi, we are summoning quite a lot. Summoning or playing under Fuvoros is also not that great, since we summoned from the deck and then also from the extra deck. So we don't really want to play under Maxi or Fuvoros, since yeah, this is not that great for us. We are triple Infinite Impermanence, and then we would max out on Bonfire since all of them are Pyros. We can search them. This is super nice. And then I like to grab one Pot of Prosperity, since we are not that the extra deck is not that important, so we can if we have a hand that doesn't really work, use the pot to basically guarantee, because we have a lot of engine here, find something that works. We have triple Veidos. Embers. You don't really need 3, you can also get away with 2. Triple Embers of the Ashened, you can also get away with 2. So the extra deck is definitely very flexy. 1 SP Little Knight, 1 Dark, since all of these are dark here. We have 1 IP Masquerina, then you can use Celine, since we can also... Oh, I forgot the spellcasters here, but you can also grab something like the Effect Vader here as a spellcaster in the deck. Then you can use the Celine. You can also, for example, use an Access Code Talker that you can use the Celine for to climb up into per potential option. But as I already said, the extra deck is definitely kind of flex spot alike, so you can basically put whatever you want. We can play with Nightmare Phoenix and then Infernal Flame Banshee, which we can also use to search something here. This is made with 2 level 4 bodies and it can grab us a Pyro, so this is very nice in a Pyro themed archetype like this one, which is why we are playing it in here. You don't need 2 because this is an ultra rare, 1 is enough, but if you have 2, just put it in here. It's a nice searcher for the deck that can be an extender also. So this is the Ashen deck here. You can let me know in the comments, what do you think of this archetype? Do you have any more questions concerning this in terms of how meta relevant this will be, or whether this is a strong deck that it's worth investing in? No, it is not. It's definitely more of a fun deck. In terms of tier, I would say this is a rogue tier deck. So if you are low on resources and you're not really hyped for this deck, definitely skip this. I mean, the archetype has really cool artworks that it needs to be said, that's for sure. But then again, if it's not something that you really need or really want to play, I would just skip this, depending on how expensive this is, obviously. But yeah, this is the Ashened archetype. Let me know if you have any further questions. Thanks for being here, and we will see each other in the next one.